Game Time Live continues here from Atlanta. Pelicans and Warriors tonight in Oakland. Different sort of scoring first quarter for the Warriors. They're not going to put up 51 tonight. Sitting on 21 at the moment. Klay Thompson there.
Oh.
Grant right there. 21-18 early on. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the evening here on Game Time Live. I'm Matt Weiner. Grant Hill right there. It's Brendan Haywood. Are you on your mark?
Get set, go.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Everybody's ready.
Lots of good stuff already. We had a great duel between Kawhi Leonard and Kyrie Irving down the stretch. Celtics get the win there. Overtime in Detroit tonight. Spurs and Mavericks played a pretty good game. San Antonio won that one. But a bonkers one tonight in Houston as James Harden continues his 30-point scoring streak. It's now at 18 games, and he went well beyond 30 for the second straight game. There he is, coming off a 57-point night on Monday. Brooklyn Nets, they play the best games consistently in the league. Most entertaining games.
Yeah, they're the most entertaining games, but the most entertaining player in this game was that guy right there. Step back, get him, the beard.
Absolutely.
Wow.
He had 22 in the third quarter alone.
Ooh,
Gonna force him off the three-point line, he'll get you at the rim.
Can't guard him. Yeah, you can. In today's game, man, with what he can do off the ball, with the ball in his hands, you can't stop him.
Fourth quarter, Eric Gordon drives, lays it home. The next time out, Gordon would go back to the locker room and would not return. Knee soreness, so just what the Rockets need. An even thinner bench, already without.
Ooh, hold up, G. Hill. Wait a minute.
Ball.
What is going on out here?
Wow.
What in the haberdashery? What is that?
That gave him 50 for the second straight game. Houston up by 11, but here come the Nets. If you're going to watch one team this year based entirely on end-of-the-game drama, it's the Brooklyn Nets.
No question, Matt, and they've been in a lot of them. What a big shot there by Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie's been huge. He's their go-to guy off the bench late in games. There's Harden, can't get the three to go, and we go to overtime. And Harden at this point got a shot at 60. He was at 53 through regulation.
Big game, James getting it done.
Missed the free throw. That was a rarity. He had 21 of 23 on the night, finished with 58. Dinwiddie was the guy late. 33 points, 10 assists for him, and it's 143-142. Rockets get a couple of chances here. Austin Rivers, no. They inbound to Gerald Green. That won't go either. And the Nets get the win on the road. 145-142.
Wow.
Woo.
Defense.
Defense optional. Defense was optional in this one.
Unbelievable. The Rockets set an NBA record by attempting 70 three-point shots tonight.
Are you serious?
Wow.
70. They were 23 of 70 along the way.
That's a big
Harden with back-to-back 50 points. That broke their own record, by the way. Harden goes for 50 for the 13th time in his career, past LeBron James for most among active players along the way. He's also the first to put together back-to-back 55-point games since Wilt Chamberlain back in 1962. These numbers are mind-bending. Hard to wrap your brain around. But the Nets come away with the win. Here's Spencer Dinwiddie.
Honest with you, they hit 5 big threes that we were on them. They made some unbelievable shots. I thought when we got up 13, we got a little complacent, and they scored too quickly, too fast, and that was regrettable. But at that, we're up 7 with about 40 seconds, and there's 1, 2, 3. I think 3 threes they were hit. They were covered, and they hit them, and hey, tip your hat to them, and hey, let's go to the next one.
We're going to get to Harden's exploits here in a moment. I want to talk about the Brooklyn Nets, who now have a 5-game winning streak against the Western Conference, by the way, and are at 500 for the first time since November 9th. They are one of the great stories of this, well, not that young, now halfway through the NBA season so far. And they play these incredible games. That experience is starting to show up as the season gets deeper and deeper because they were, a little bit of a, not a laughingstock, but it was kind of a joke at the beginning of the season. Oh, the Nets are going to blow a lead. Something terrible is going to happen. Now they're winning these games.
They are winning these games, and really I think the foundation was set the last few years. Kenny Atkinson inherited this team, didn't have a lot, but they always played hard, Brendan. They always competed. They just didn't know how to win games down the stretch, and we saw that a little bit earlier in the season. But they lost Karis LeVert. We all saw that, who was their best player at the time. But these players now are believing. They're playing great basketball. And you talk about late game heroics, being able to take and make big shots. Dinwiddie just elevating his play, the belief that they have in each other, and of course, when someone gets hot, finding that hot hand and riding him to the finish.
Dinwiddie is an unbelievable story. Brendan, he's been cut. He was sent to the G League. He's been traded, and now he's a go-to guy at the end of games for this team.
Well, he's one of those guys that just perseveres. He won't give up. I mean, I remember him in Detroit, and he was trying to find his way, and it was a little bit up and down with his minutes and being in and out of the rotation. And then he just kept grinding, went to Brooklyn, found his home, and then he obviously has put in the work. You don't get this good overnight, so this wasn't something that happened just by happenstance. He put in the work, continued to get better, continued to persevere. Now he's found a home. He's making big-time plays for these upstart Brooklyn Nets, and they're doing some big things in the Eastern Conference. Don't be surprised if they make it to the playoffs and win a series. We know they're probably going to make it, but they can actually win a series because, like you said, talking about Karis LeVert, they're going to get him back at some point this year. They're going to be better when he's on this roster.
Also took advantage of a smallish Houston lineup tonight. No Clint Capella. They scored 74 in the paint. That's a season high for the Brooklyn Nets. As for Harden, back-to-back, not just 50, but 55-plus point games for him, 18 in a row now with 30 or more. And I wonder, and I'm not the first to ask this, but the load that is placed on him night after night, how long can he continue that sort of responsibility?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, he's 40% usage rate. He's on track to be the second highest in NBA history. What he has done here these last 6 weeks have just been off the charts. And, they're going to need him to continue to play that way. That's the thing that's scary. And I just worry. I worry, can he maintain that consistently? And then, of course, into the postseason, playing and putting up those type of numbers. But that's elite company that he's in right now when you start talking about some of those greats. And you know what? He's been elite the last 6-8 weeks.
Definitely is elite company. You asked the question, how long can he keep it up? The answer is he doesn't really have a choice. He has to keep it up. When you look at the rest of this roster, and Eric Gordon came back and went out of this lineup with the sore knee, P.J. Tucker, Clark, Rivers, Green, Chris, Nene. There's nobody else on this roster that can consistently create shots for themselves or others. So Houston's going to have to ride Harden until the wheels fall off. I'm hoping the wheels don't fall off, but they have no choice. They have one game plan and one way to win basketball games until Chris Paul and Eric Gordon are able to both be out there and be healthy and play up to their level. Right now it's Harden. He's a one-man band doing what he has to do, and he has drugged this team kicking and screaming back into the Western Conference playoff race. I know they lost tonight, but listen, what he's been doing this last stretch of games has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, no, Brendan, just to your point, the stamina required to go out and have that kind of responsibility. But the thing that's impressive, which makes me kind of think that he can continue with it, even with all of that, is just the efficiency and how under control. It's not a hard 30 or a hard 40. It's almost effortless.
You don't think it's a hard 30?
Well, I mean, I'm saying, but the way he plays. No. I know it's a lot of dribbling. 34 shots, a lot of shots.
58 points on 34 shots is efficient.
But it's not really efficient. It's not like Allen Iverson, who was going to the hole every time and getting hit and having to exert so much energy. He plays at a nice tempo, nice pace. I'm not trying to minimize his accomplishment, but it just seems he's so effortless and he's doing whatever he wants out there. And so I think that bodes well for him in terms of having to try to do this and live up to this every game for the rest of the season.
It's remarkable, and you make a good point, and maybe this is why he's able to continually do this night after night. And this is not a knock, you very seldom see James Harden at a full sprint. He plays at his own pace, as you said. He gets where he needs to go. He gets to the foul line a ton, 23 times tonight. Maybe that has something to do with the way or why he can sustain this.
He might not be in a full sprint, but this is where we kind of disagree slightly, is that I still think it's a hard 30 or a hard 50 simply because it's so much dribbling. You were a go-to guy, and you know how hard it is to get your shot when you're the go-to guy. But every once in a while, you could throw that thing over to Joe Dumars or somebody else and be like, hey, man, it's your turn.
Right.
Well, listen, every time James throws it, they throw it right back like it's hot potato. And for good reason. You don't want Nene out there creating his own shot. So when you look out there and look at this team, I see an incredibly, it's efficient.
Right.
But then I see a hard 58, a hard 57 because no one's creating any shots for him. It's not like when you see Klay Thompson get off of his 50s and 60s where they're creating shots and he doesn't have to dribble.
Barely touches the ball.
No, James has to hit incredibly tough shots. It's tough step backs with people draped on you. It's trying to split the trap. It's doing the Euros all throughout the lane with everybody trying to block your shot. Then he goes to the free throw line a lot, so that's taking a taxing on your body. He's going to the free throw line double-digit times a game. So James is putting on a performance. I love it, but I do think it is stressful on him because it's so much to do every single possession.
Yep. Fourth 50-point game of the season for James Harden. The Rockets have won 14 of 19 even with the loss. Mentioned earlier the duel between Kawhi Leonard and Kyrie